Welcome everyone to our seventh or eighth week in YouTube, and I don't know which week in this whole social media. For all of you, his Speed Kalinjan, I'm Sarai Gracia. We are from Tiger 29, and we basically love to educate small business owners about SEO and how they can improve their business. So if you follow us, probably you already know that we are talking a little bit about Squarespace, Wix, but the last week we were talking about optimization of images. So that was a really good video, and especially because I think that probably the small business owner don't have this part clear and why this is important. So today I bring some questions to Pete, that he is the SEO expert, that he can explain us a little bit about the optimization of images and how this impact the SEO. So how are you, Pete?
I'm doing very good.
Are you excited about today?
I'm always excited about SEO.
Awesome. So, as I explained to them, we talked last week about optimization of images. I think this topic is really important because it could be something really obvious sometimes,
Mhm.
but for the same reason, people probably just skip it. And I think this is one of the most important parts in websites, in loading pages, and all of that. So, my first question for you is, because I think that we also experience that is, people should upload the images from the iPhone, from cameras, from computer, or it doesn't really matter.
So, first thing to say is a lot of times people get paralyzed by trying to do things the perfect way. And
Hmm.
if trying to do it the perfect way is preventing you from building your site out and presenting more information to the search engines, then just do it. Like whether it's on a camera, a laptop, whatever, do it. With that being said, depending on your objectives and what you're trying to do, uploading photos from a phone can be
Hmm.
very advantageous. There's a lot of times some additional information that's embedded inside that
Hmm.
photo when you use a phone. There are ways to do that on a desktop or laptop as well. It's just adding an extra step in. So for a lot of small business owners, they got their mobile phone with them out on the job or whatever. Take that photo, get it on your site, get it on your social media, and move on with your life.
I heard the other day that someone in social media said, like, I feel worried about optimize my images because I don't want that those ones lose the high quality. This is true. It's false. What do you think about it?
So again, I think you want to look at where is your return going to be? What's the best way to spend your time? And if you're
Hmm.
going to spend 3 hours optimizing an image, it's probably not the best use of your time as a small business owner. However, if you can create some systems to do it quickly, then you should do that because it does help when your images are optimized for speed, for the different components inside the image that matter to search. So you got to weigh it out a little bit and decide what's the return going to be here and is it
Hmm.
worth the effort that I'm going to put in.
And how about if someone already have their website built, but they see this video and they're like, "Oh my god, I think that I have to optimize my images." They should change all the images in the websites, or they can just keep it like that, or what can you suggest?
So typically, what I would say, especially for those small businesses that have a Squarespace website,
Hmm.
you can go right into the back end of Squarespace and change the file name, and
Hmm.
you can add the alt text. So you don't have to delete that photo, re-upload it, and then do that file name alt text stuff. So Squarespace makes it very, very easy. So you
Hmm.
don't have to do that. Other platforms are different. Depending on the situation and the specifics of the situation, it could make sense to put all new photos on the site or not put all new photos on the site. An
Hmm.
SEO Power Hour is a great way to get an answer to that question because we can look at the specific situation, understand how much time it's going to take, and then
Hmm.
decide, do we want to move forward?
Awesome. I think another thing that it's attached to the SEO and related to all of this, because we already explained them like how to optimize the images or how identify if they have to do it or not.
Mhm.
But I want to connect this topic with the SEO, saying that, do you think if someone replace the images for new ones optimized, they will broke links or they will affect the
Mhm.
SEO or something like that?
Absolutely. And that's one of the big challenges is that image has a file name on your website.
Hmm.
If you change that file name, the search engine has to understand, oops, that old image doesn't exist. Here's a new image that we need to factor into the algorithm. So it does change, and you just have to weigh out whether that change is worth it, whether the upside outweighs the downside, and then you move forward.
Okay. So basically they can just like delete the picture and and upload a new one, and the search engine, of course they will need time to understand again,
Hmm.
but it will not affect like too painful the website or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I think too, something to keep in perspective is the time that you spend on image optimization for current pages
Hmm.
could be spent building out additional pages that create more context for the search engine. And so
Hmm.
that's something to keep in mind too, is what is the best use of time.
Awesome. And I think just for conclude this video, because I think that we skipped this part, like it's explaining the people why it's important optimize images or have this correct file names and all of that. I think it's like two questions about this. And the first one, it's like if people have a image with a big size in their websites, this will affect the loading charge in the website.
Yeah, so large file size for images will definitely impact your page load speed, and
Mm-hmm.
fast websites are definitely important. You want your website to be fast so the search engines favor it in results. I can say one more thing about images and SEO. When it comes to images, human beings, when we look at images, we're seeing them with our eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
We need to think about how do the machines see this image, and they don't see it with eyeballs, but how do they see it, and how can we influence the way that they see it, and how that impacts the overall understanding of the site and of the business.
I'm really grateful that you explained that last part, because that was my last question for you. Because we talked about this last week and we mentioned the file name and we mentioned like the properties and all of that. Yeah, basically, this is like the way that search engines can understand the image
Hmm.
and optimize, like not optimize it, but put it in the, I don't know, like keywords properly, or there's a like, oh, this picture have landscaping in the file name, so I think it's about landscaping.
Exactly.
So yeah, do you want to add something to conclude the video?
Real results.
In real SEO. Bye.